When you look around, I mean, really look at the stars, or think about how bees work, or just the ocean tides. It feels like there's an order, doesn't it?
Yeah, harmony.
Exactly. And you get this sense it's not just random chance. There's a proportion to it all. Well, in Islam, there's a really powerful concept for this very idea, Mizān. It's basically the balance with a capital B that Allah established in, well, everything.
And that's right where we're diving in today. Our source material, it's an excerpt from Foundations Chap 3 K1.pdf, focuses squarely on Mizān.
Okay.
It offers this really compelling Islamic view on environmental harmony, but it also goes deeper, suggesting that when we see this balance disrupted environmentally, it's actually reflecting a spiritual crisis too.
Interesting. So our goal here for this deep dive is to unpack that, to see how this, ancient concept gives us a lens to look at our modern world.
And maybe even our own lives, right?
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. So Mizān, it's not just like scales balancing E-weights, is it? The swords, it really stresses, and it has this dual nature.
Right. It's definitely a cosmic principle, something baked into the universe itself. But crucially, it's also presented as a moral imperative for us, for humans.
Okay. There's that powerful verse you mentioned from Surah Al-Rahman.
Yes, 55, verses 7 and 8. And the sky he raised and imposed the balance. So do not transgress within the balance.
Not transgress within the balance. That's pretty direct.
It really is. And what's fascinating here, I think, is that it's not just saying, hey, look, there's balance.
Right.
It's a command. It demands we recognize it, yes, but also that we have this profound responsibility.
Keep it, to preserve it.
Exactly, to preserve it. The source strongly implies that transgression, stepping outside that balance, well, invites chaos.
Not just ecological chaos, but spiritual too, you said.
Yes, precisely. That connection is key. It's not just about the external world. It's deeply tied to our inner state, our spiritual well-being.
That duality is striking cosmic law and personal duty. When people first hear about Mizān, do they sometimes just think of it as, I don't know, physics?
That's a good point. Yeah, often the initial thought might be limited to physical laws, gravity, orbits, that sort of thing. But the source makes it really clear Mizān stretches much further. It encompasses justice, ethics, how we interact with each other.
So the misconception is kind of boxing it in, seeing it only as material.
Yeah, limiting it to the physical when it's just as much about the spiritual and the social fabric of life.
Okay, that makes sense. And expanding on that cosmic side then, the universe really is shown as this place of, well, perfect proportion.
Absolutely. There's that verse in Surah Al-Qamar 54.49. Indeed, we have created everything with precise measure.
Precise measure.
Not random.
Not random at all. It implies intention, design.
And the source gives some great concrete examples of this in action, doesn't it?
It does. Things we observe all the time.
Like planetary orbits, the water cycle, even food chains, how species depend on each other.
Right. And those big regenerative systems, soil, air, water, how they clean themselves, sustain life, and climate regulation, forests, oceans. They're all part of this intricate balance.
And the core message there is that these aren't just neat natural facts. They reflect divine intention, this equilibrium, this Mizān.
It's more than just nature doing its thing.
Exactly. It's presented as a moral principle. Seeing this perfection in creation is meant to evoke something in the believer.
Like what? Awe.
Definitely. Humility, too. And importantly, this sense of active responsibility, a call to preserve it consciously.
A call to stewardship. It's a beautiful idea. But, well, you look around and it feels like we struggle with that stewardship, collectively speaking.
We certainly do.
So what happens then, according to the source, when we do transgress? When this Mizān is broken by things like pollution, deforestation, just rampant consumption?
Well, the outcome described is stark. Ecological and spiritual imbalance. Major disruption.
And there's another powerful warning from the Quran cited here, isn't there? Surah Al-Rum.
Yes, 30.41. Corruption has appeared on land and sea by what the hands of people have earned. It links the environmental problems directly to human actions.
Corruption. In Arabic, that's fasad.
Correct, fasad. And the source doesn't leave it vague. It points to specific examples we see today.
Like
climate instability, species extinction, which is tragic soil getting degraded, the oceans becoming more acidic.
these huge systemic problems.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the source argues these aren't just environmental crises, they're signs of something deeper.
Deeper how?
They're signs of tughyan. That's the word used for transgression, for overstepping the limits set by the divine order.
Okay, so the external chaos reflects an internal one.
Precisely. It reflects a spiritual imbalance within us. Things like greed winning out over gratitude, wastefulness instead of wisdom, trying to control nature instead of caring for it.
It's like the earth is reacting to our own inner state.
In a way, yes. The source even brings up another verse, Surah Al-Nahl 16.1, about mountains being placed firmly in the earth, lest it should shift with you.
Wow. Another example of divine ordering to prevent chaos.
And our role in potentially upsetting that order.
It really feels like these aren't separate issues. Climate change here, pollution there, but symptoms of one big disconnect.
That's a good way to put it.
So, okay, if this is the ideal state of balance, and Fasad is the breakdown, how do we get back? How does someone actually live Mizān?
Well, this is where the source brings in the Prophet Muhammad's life as a practical model.
Right, as a blueprint.
Yeah.
This part I found really fascinating, how practical it gets.
His life is shown as embodying Mizān through aitidal moderation and wasatiyya, the middle path.
In everyday things.
In everything. The source gives concrete examples, like his simplicity in consumption. There's a saying attributed to him. The food of two suffices three.
Just taking what you need, not excess.
Exactly. And careful use of resources, like using just a small amount of water for wudu, the ritual ablution.
Even with something basic like washing.
Especially then. And his advice on eating. It sounds incredibly relevant today, doesn't it?
The one about the stomach?
Yes. No human ever filled a vessel worse than the stomach, suggesting just enough to keep going, or if more, then 1/3 food, 1/3 drink, 1/3 breath.
That's real moderation in practice.
It is, and it extended to emotional balance too, living between healthy fear and hope, ambition and contentment, not extremes.
And avoiding waste seems paramount.
Absolutely. The famous advice, do not waste water, even if you perform ablution on the banks of a flowing river.
Even when it seems abundant.
Yes, it's about the principle, and his care for nature, for animals, forbidding needless destruction of trees or crops.
And that warning about killing even a sparrow unjustly.
Right. Accountability for harming even small creatures without just cause. It shows this deep respect for all life within the balance.
So his whole way of life, his sunnah.
It reflected this deep internalization of Mizān. It wasn't just theology, it was lived practice.
That makes it seem less like some abstract ideal and more like, well, something achievable through conscious choices.
Exactly. The insight is that this grand cosmic harmony actually starts with deliberate actions in our daily lives, even the mundane ones. It brings it right down to earth.
Which leads perfectly to the next point, connecting this to the listener, to you. As we think about Mizān, the source really encourages some self-reflection, doesn't it? Asking ourselves tough questions.
It does. Like, in what ways have you personally contributed to imbalance? Maybe through consuming too much or wasting things or just living life in a constant rush.
Or neglect. Neglecting relationships or health or spiritual practice.
All of that falls under potential imbalance. And then the flip side is to consider where you might consciously choose to return to Mizān.
How? What sort of things?
It could be in your food choices, eating more mindfully, less wastefully. It could be how you manage your time, slowing down perhaps, even managing your thoughts or your spending habits.
Small things can add up.
Definitely. And the source frames this beautifully. Living with Mizān, making these balanced choices. It's seen as a form of dhikr.
Remembrance of God.
Yes, remembrance through action. Every balanced choice, however small it seems, is like a step back into alignment with the divine design, a recognition of our place in that larger order.
Okay, so let's just quickly summarize the key threads here. We've talked about Mizān as this dual concept, both a cosmic reality and a moral duty.
Right, embedded in creation itself.
We've seen the Qur'anic call to recognize and actively preserve that balance.
And the warning against transgressing it, Fasad.
And how environmental problems are viewed as signs of that transgression, that deeper spiritual imbalance.
Yeah. Greed over gratitude, waste over wisdom.
And then crucially, the Prophet's life as a very practical guide, a blueprint for living in moderation and finding that middle path.
Showing it's possible to bring that balance into daily life.
So we've covered a lot of ground. As a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe take away.
Consider this. How might your own personal efforts to restore balance, even in seemingly small ways, like we discussed, how might that serve a purpose beyond just your own well-being?
What kind of ripple effects could that have?
Exactly. Could mindful consumption or taking time for reflection or being more careful with resources, Could that contribute in some small way to a larger healing, something beyond the individual?
That's a powerful question to ponder. Definitely something to mull over. We encourage you to sit with these ideas, reflect on them, and perhaps explore more on your own.